Do you have a story to share with the world? Of course you do. We all have stories to share. An Anchor podcast allows you to share your interests in a way that connects to others all across the globe. If you have been considering starting your own podcast and don't know where to begin, Anchor makes it easy to record, edit, and publish with the click of a button. You can even add music. Whether it's crime dramas, self improvement, paranormal adventures, or tips about parenting, you too can share your unique imprint on the world. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. You've got this. I believe in you. Welcome to the Existential Empath Podcast. My name is Tanya, and I am an intuitive empath. My intention is to share valuable tools and techniques that I have learned so you can tap into your own inner healer naturally and intuitively. Greetings, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well. In this podcast, I thought I would share some simple ways to elevate our mood, to align ourselves on our highest vibrational path, and also when to recognize when we have done so. So I'm going to break it down into physical, spiritual, and mental. So that way, you might want to pull out your pen and pad because you might want to take some notes on this because there's a lot of information here. And these are some ways that I have kind of pulled myself out of some of those lower moods. You know, if you're feeling a little frustrated or angry or depressed or beaten down, these are some helpful tips that could pull you out of those lower vibrational emotions. And this could potentially, be difficult for some of you, and that's okay. Just try to do what you can and to do it routinely if you can. Make it a part of maybe a morning ritual or before bed routine. Just really try to fit in a couple of these things if you can. And be consciously aware of how your mood shifts when you start doing some of these routines or activities. And just being present in your body, not beating yourself up if you're not moving along faster than you'd hoped or just really being present. I think that's what I really want to emphasize is just, through some of these tips and tools, it's just really being present in the moment and feeling into your body and having a deeper understanding of where you are, where are you physically, mentally, emotionally, where are you spiritually, and really diving a little bit more into those areas of your life. So, from a physical standpoint, what are some things that we can do to elevate our mood? Deep breathing exercises. And I've talked about this several times in my podcasts and on my YouTube channel. I've shared some different techniques. And so many of us have been programmed to not really take deep breaths. And I was like this when I was working in healthcare. It was really hard for me to really even recognize that I wasn't breathing properly because I was under such a state of stress. And I was breathing in a fashion that was very shallow breathing. It was like, if you can hear that, kind of more like panting, from a dog similarly. And it wasn't until I started to practice yoga until I really learned the benefit and the power of breath. And then I started to take some breathwork classes and really deeply understanding how much breathing oxygenates us, oxygenates our blood, our lymphatic system, and all of our muscles and tissues. And so there's just a simple breathing exercise. It's called box breathing. And what you do now, you can choose, do you want to breathe in through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your nose? In through your mouth, out through your mouth, in through your nose, out through your mouth, or even in through your mouth and out through your nose. So each one of those gives you a different sensation, a different feeling. So, kind of experiment around with it and see which one works best for you. But basically, the concept of box breathing is that you're going to breathe in for a certain count, maybe 3 or 4 seconds, hold it for the same amount, 3 or 4 seconds, breathe out for 3 or 4 seconds, and then hold for 3 or 4 seconds. And you're going to do this for a couple of minutes until you really notice an energetic shift within your body. And then that's when you'll start to feel a shift, a difference. So if you're in a panic attack or you're high anxiety, I would suggest doing some breath work. Another simple technique you can do is where you breathe in through your nose, hold it for a second or two, and then you'll breathe out through your mouth as if you're breathing through a straw. And what this does is it activates your vagus nerve, and your vagus nerve is in direct correlation with your sympathetic and your parasympathetic nervous system. So, really, what we're working on in that breath technique is to relax the nervous system, to kind of start to calm down that fight, flight, or freeze response that the amygdala is firing in our mind. So, the vagus nerve is such an important aspect to our peace, right? To stress relief. So maybe I'll do a show on the vagus nerve. That's a good idea because there's so much information around that. Another thing that you can do to elevate your mood is to exercise. And this doesn't even have to be going to the gym. This could be going out for a walk in nature. It could be cleaning. Oh my gosh. Sometimes for me, just moving around, turning on some good music and cleaning the house. That gets me moving and it makes me feel good because I'm moving stagnant energy around and in both my body and my home. And so just basically movement, whatever that looks like. That could be dancing, could be, yoga, it could be just a variety of things. So just movement really can help elevate your mood. Changing your scenery. Um, maybe you're stuck in a loop, stuck in a pattern, and you don't know what to do. You're frustrated. Maybe book a little one night getaway. Go somewhere. Do something else. Get out of your environment. Change your scenery. That makes huge improvements on your emotional well-being, as well as it shifts your energy. It moves some of that stagnant energy out. So, maybe book an Airbnb for a night or two. Go, and it doesn't have to be far. Maybe you live somewhere where you can drive a mile or an hour away and be in a beautiful place. Just shifting your mindset and shifting your energy through movement and shifting your environment will do wonders. Drinking plenty of water. This is also very important. When energy moves through our body through the channels of water, okay? So if we aren't drinking enough water, then our energy can get stuck and then that will kind of keep us in a slumpy, sort of mood. So it's like, kind of visualizing a very dry creek or river and how it's not moving very freely. But then once you get some rainfall, then it starts to really move and you can see, branches or rocks or sticks or, whatever moving more freely through that river. It's very similar with our body. If we aren't drinking enough water, then our lymphatic system will get bogged down. Our blood will get bogged down. So make sure that you're drinking plenty of clean water. I prefer spring water, unfluoridated water. I buy reverse osmosis water as well. And I always encourage you to add a little bit of electrolytes to that if you are buying reverse osmosis. So that way you'll have the minerals in the water. Singing is super easy, and you don't even have to be a good singer. You can sing in the shower. I love to put my headphones on and I listen to pure tones. I love on 144 hertz pure tone. And I will hum to that actually. And I can feel the vibration moving through my body. And what that's doing is it's actually doing what's called resonant tuning. And so we're tuning with that frequency. And I can feel literally if there was stuck or stagnant energy, maybe I have a tight muscle or some pain in an area. When I do that resonant tuning, it's almost like it just kind of moves right out of my body. And I can feel that very deeply. So, just sing, hum, Om. I did a podcast on the power of sound and the healing benefits of sound. So I offered a lot of suggestions in that as well. Sound plays a huge role in moving our energy in our body. Maybe wearing different colors. Maybe you're accustomed to wearing black all the time. I was because I worked in a hospital. So I started to incorporate more vibrant colors into my life. I started to wear, maybe a black suit with a yellow top instead of a gray top or a white top. Just change it up a little bit because as I've talked in previous episodes, our body runs off of a chakra system and that chakra system runs off of light and it runs off of color. And, we may have some stuck or stagnant energy in a certain area of our body, and color plays a huge role, in that. So just change it up a little bit, wear something different, and see how that shifts, see how people react, to that. Also, staying in good health, making sure you're getting proper sleep and nutrition, eating good quality foods, foods that make you feel good, and, just really making sure that you're getting enough rest. Are you tired? If your body is telling you you're exhausted, then it's time to lay down and sleep a little bit. Don't beat yourself up about that. If you want to take a nap in the middle of the day, then take a nap. One thing that I used to do when I was working in healthcare is I would have an hour lunch break and I would eat for 30 minutes and then I was working at a hospital and I didn't really have an office there. So sometimes I'd just go sit in my car, put on some calming, music, or even just, no music at all. And I would do a power nap. I would set my alarm and I would do a power nap for anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes. And I would get into that theta state, which is that very rejuvenating state. And gosh, it would boost me right up. It was fantastic. So even if you don't have the time in the day to take a full blown nap, I would encourage you to try and do that. Just set aside maybe even 15 minutes to do what's called power napping. Set your alarm, close your eyes, and just let everything go. And you'll be surprised at how much, you'll feel differently. And so it's just really resetting. That sympathetic nervous system so that you can be more in that rest and digest place. So, what are some things that we can do mentally to assist ourselves with elevating our mood? Um, we can focus on the positive. I mean, if we're stuck in a loop where we're constantly focusing on negative, we understand that the more what we focus on grows, right? Where our energy goes, our attention flows. So or vice versa, where our attention flows, our energy goes. And when we are constantly focusing on stress and drama and gossip and negativity, it is literally like we are plugging ourselves up to um, a drainage, right? We're just draining ourselves. We're being siphoned of our energy. So, working on shifting your thoughts. And the best time to do this is first thing in the morning when you wake up. See, consciously be aware of what is my first thought the moment I wake up. Is it, oh God, I got to go to work today. This is terrible. I don't want to do this. How can we shift that? How can we shift those thoughts? Focus on something else. Be like, oh God, I love taking a hot shower. That's something that I just love. I'm so grateful for warm, hot showers and even cold showers from time to time because I love doing that method because that will also shift your energy as well. So be aware of your thoughts, and if you have to do a journal or a gratitude journal, then I encourage that. Give yourself 5 or 10 minutes in the morning to really recognize, where are my thoughts. Many of us are running on autopilot. We don't even really understand where our thoughts are. Or we aren't even really recognizing it. I know I was like that for a long period of time. And what we're doing is we're creating momentum because our thoughts are creating the direction that we're going, just like a vehicle. If we're driving in one direction and we don't want to go that way, we've got to slow the car down and turn around. It's the same with our thoughts. If our thoughts are constantly going in a direction that we don't want them to go, we've got to start to slow them down and learn how to reprogram them or retrain them to go in a completely different direction. So you can do that through repeating affirmations. That's really good. The subconscious mind works really well with affirmations and using those I am statements. So I am appreciative, I am grateful, I am happy, I am comfortable. I am okay with where I am in this moment, just really moving into um, shifting our thoughts and then verbalizing it. I think verbalizing it is just as important, or even writing it down, because that's also taking the time to set that intention and letting the subconscious mind know that, hey, I don't want to think that way anymore. It's time for me to shift my thoughts around this. Um, Read uplifting or inspirational material. I know that was really helpful for me. I started to dive into Abraham Hicks, Wayne Dyer, Greg Braden, Bruce Lipton, just a whole bunch of different people that I was kind of guided to along my path. And from time to time, I will go back to those teachings because it's like it's a little bit of a reset, for me. So find what it is that inspires you and, start doing that. Start instead of turning on Netflix and diving into some, drama series, you know, maybe take some time to listen to something more inspirational or watch something more inspirational, and it doesn't have to be all day every day unless you want to do that, but just start off a little bit at a time. Start 15 minutes here and then maybe move it up to 30 minutes, and just notice how your mood shifts or how you uplift. I had a long commute to work, so I had about a 45-minute to an hour drive every day to work. So I downloaded Audible on my phone, and I would connect that to my Bluetooth speaker in my car, and I would listen to Audible books on my way to work every day that were inspirational and uplifting. And oh my gosh, I even noticed my coworkers were noticing a difference with me because I was showing up in a different frequency, in a different vibration. I just wasn't that, dragging myself to work every day. I was actually going to work and feeling extremely uplifted and motivated. And so I had this different energy about me, and people were actually noticing that. What are some other things that we can do? Absorbing sunlight and even moonlight for that matter. When we get outside and we feel the sun, I know here in northern Idaho, it's been extremely chilly this spring and summer. So when that sun comes out, oh, I just want to sit in it because it feels so good. It's like I just want to soak it up like a biscuit. and I just love it. And I also love the moonlight too. When you have that beautiful full moon out there, that's a different type of energy, and we feel recharged and rejuvenated from that. Like I said, you only need maybe 15 minutes to soak up some vitamin D, so it doesn't have to be a long time. And even if it's not sunny out, even if it's cloudy, you can still get a little bit of that vitamin D. So, maybe just getting outside, getting a little bit of fresh air and soaking in some nature, that can absolutely shift your thoughts. Taking a walk, getting out there and moving. Um, Laughing, and I think laughing is so important because laughing moves stagnant energy, just like crying does, just like screaming. Any of those things can move stagnant energy, but laughing moves it the most. I mean, when's the last time you've had one of those deep gut laughing, episodes? I love those. Those feel so good where you just can't stop laughing. And surround yourself with people who like to laugh, who bring that out of you, right? And I think we get so caught up in our day-to-day lives that it's hard for us to find ourselves in that childlike feeling, that childlike nature where, children are just laughing and giggling. And when you hear a child laugh and giggle, it makes you want to laugh and giggle. So, just learning how to really tap into that and feel that joy within yourself, it can do wonders. And playing with children, if you've got children in your life that bring you joy, spend more time with them. They will elevate your mood. They're little transmuters. Most kids are empaths, and they pick up on energy very easily, and they can transmute energy very easily. They are in a very high vibrational state, and they can reset people's energy very quickly. And through their laughter and through their playfulness, it can really help us cleanse our energy as adults, right? So, loving people, hugging, kissing, those are some ways that you can also shift your mood. For many years, I was not a hugger. It was kind of a joke. I was the queen of the side hug. And I kind of say that's a lot because of my empathic abilities. I was picking up when you hug someone, your hearts connect. And at the time when I was working in healthcare, I was so overwhelmed with all of the emotions that were going on with working with grieving families and what were going on in my life, that it was almost like when I hugged someone, I felt like I was going to have a breakdown. I felt like the emotions were going to roll just through me, and I didn't want that to happen in a professional setting. So hugging is a powerful energy mover. So hugging someone, just really hugging them and connecting with them, because our hearts connect. And doing that in a way that is uplifting and loving, and shifting our thoughts from that hatred standpoint, or that judgmental standpoint, moving it into a more loving and compassionate energy, can do wonders for us as well. Some other things that we can do are, visualize the future. What are some things that you want in your life? Maybe you want to go on a trip. Maybe you want to go visit Europe, or you want to go, to the special location. Start visualizing that. Start really putting your energy towards something that you would enjoy doing. I know for me, when I was in my 30s, every year I would save my tax return up and I would go on a trip for like, 10 days, 2 weeks. Gosh, I look forward to that every single year. It was something that brought me joy. I loved, at the time, I loved to cruise. And I thought for me, cruising was awesome because I could go visit all these locations and get a little taste of all these different countries. And gosh, I've probably been to over 50 countries, through all of that traveling. And what traveling does is it also expands your consciousness. It allows you to open up to other cultures and other ways of living. And it really pulls you out of the mindset of where you live. And so for me, being American, it was really fun to go experience all these other countries and really learn their culture and eat their food, and just be in a different environment. So visualize something that you want to do. Maybe you want to buy a home, or who knows what it is, but just really start visualizing that. And you can do that through your journaling practice as well, if you feel guided to do so. And associate with positive people. Maybe go on a trip and bring some fun people with you that you enjoy spending time with. I know for me, I always traveled. Sometimes I've traveled alone. I do that often, but I also find places where my friends are, and I'll be like, "Hey, I'm going on a trip. I'm going to be, alone for a night or two, but then I'm going to be riding through your city. You want to grab some lunch, or do you want to catch up?" And I kind of incorporate my friends into my traveling adventures from time to time. And when I was traveling overseas, I'd always bring fun people with me so we would have a good time. If you're dragging Debbie Downer with you all the time, then that's not fun, because then you're the one lifting them up. Or maybe you're Debbie Downer, and people want to have fun, and just really elevate your mood and lift yourself up. So let yourself go, have a good time, give yourself permission to enjoy whatever it is that you're doing, and be honest and sincere about it. I think when we live in a state of authenticity and you're genuine, you are naturally in alignment with who you are. You're naturally in alignment with your soul, and at that point you're living a balanced life, full of peace and harmony. And you know, I think it's really important for us to find that authenticity within ourselves and be vulnerable. And I know it's difficult for some of us to be vulnerable, but in that vulnerability is where we free ourselves and where we let ourselves go to a point where we can um, live our lives. It always reminds me of this country song. It talks about how she let herself go. She left her husband, and but the whole song is about how she let herself go. She let herself go to be free. She went on all these trips and she lived her life and she had a good time. And it was like she felt chained down a little bit in that relationship. And once she kind of freed herself from it, she literally let herself go and she gave herself permission to have fun and to enjoy her life. And so, if you're in that situation now, you may want to take a step back and really observe it, analyze it a little bit, and see where it is that you can let yourself go and where you can, find your freedom, find your wings again. Where are they? Where did they go? Another thing you can do is step out into nature and maybe be creative and draw some art, or listen to music, or do things that align you and bring you back into that childlike state or into that creative state. And that's really important because we lose track of that. Oftentimes we get so stuck in the hustle and bustle that we don't often take the time to be creative anymore. Oftentimes when I'm working with clients, creative insecurity comes up so much. And I think we lose touch with that. And that's in our sacral chakra, that's in our creative center. And so just really tapping into that. Ask yourself, what things do I enjoy doing? How can I be creative? And just maybe incorporating that into your lifestyle a couple times a week, or, maybe on the weekends when you've got some time to do that. So, you know, what are some spiritual ways that we can elevate our mood? I know for me, I love to surround myself in golden light. You can surround yourself in white light. Um, when I'm doing meditations, I'll just visualize that. It's like I visualize a light shooting up out of the top of my head and then kind of coming down and coming back in through the bottoms of my feet, like a toroidal field, and kind of like a spiral also going up from the bottom of my feet up to my head and then back down again. So, really just visualizing that energy around me. You know how I've talked about the Swiss cheese aura in my previous podcasts, where we get like the pig pen syndrome is what I call it. You know, if you guys watch Peanuts gang, Pigpen on there, he carries around this dust ball around him all the time. And some of us have that around us. Our aura looks like Pigpen and we look like a dust ball. And if we can really visualize that light coming back in to our energetic field, then that will also elevate our mood and bring us up. And that will cleanse our energy. And also, it'll cleanse the energy of those around us. So, um, really tuning into that as well. If you're into spirit guides, you or ancestors, angels, you can really tune into them too. Ask them for guidance and assistance. I love to connect with my higher self. I feel like a lot of our guidance teams around us are aspects of ourselves. So when we connect to that higher source or that higher energy, it can really help cleanse us and it can really balance us and bring us back to a state of peace and harmony. And, tune into whatever spiritual level that you feel comfortable with, whatever that may be, if that's God, source, universal energy, Allah, whatever that is for you. I look at the names like ice cream, right? It's all ice cream. It's just how we name it, how we categorize it, vanilla, chocolate. It's all a little different, but for each and every one of us, but it's all really the same concept. So when you're tuning into that higher source or that higher power for you, how does that feel? And if you feel disconnected, really dive into that a little bit deeper. Why am I disconnected? Am I mad? Am I angry? Did something happen that made me disconnect? Where did that occur? And really sit with those feelings and try to find a way back. Try to find a way back to that balance. Open yourself up to receiving healing, from that. I know for me, when I was really struggling with back pain several years ago, all I could do was lay in bed. And so I would call upon my archangels, right? We have access to all of them and they're always there. Gabriel is an excellent one. Raphael for healing. Ask them to come in, surround you. I know for me, when they come in, whew, I can feel it. It's very powerful. So yeah, and send yourself loving energy. Send yourself that love. A lot of it is we give so much love to others and we don't give it to ourselves. So bringing that back um, into our own energetic field, our own self love. Our own self attention and self acceptance will do wonders for our mood as well. Just really taking the time to do that. Praying and meditating and doing these things that calm our body and calm our mind. And, when we pray, we're sending that signal out into the universe. And then as we meditate, it's like we kind of sit there and we receive, right? So it's like a giving and receiving. And I love to incorporate them together, whether you call it praying or setting intentions, whatever it may be that you resonate with, tune into that, tap into that. You can really uh, just at all times we have access to this energy. It's just a matter of us setting our intention on what type of energy we want to receive. So, I think a lot of it is just stepping back and asking yourself, what energy am I giving off and what energy am I receiving? If you're giving off a frustrated, judgmental, negative energy, then odds are you're probably receiving the same back. So, shifting the energy that you're putting out into the universe will shift the energy that you're receiving, almost like a boomerang effect. It's like putting that out there will also pull back in whatever it is that energy that you're giving off. So these are just some examples of ways that I have elevated my mood in those times where I'm feeling a little frustrated or saddened or depressed or just angry, even for that matter. Some of these things have helped me pull me out of that particular situation or that mood that I was in. And I incorporate some of these in my daily life, doing my energy routines in the morning to get movement going. Donna Eden, if you aren't familiar with her, check her out. She has an energy routine, and I'm sure you can find it on YouTube or any of those channels, where it really gets some movement going. Tai Chi, Qigong. You can find several Qigong or Qigong videos on YouTube. I do those in the morning too. They've got nice little 15-minute videos to get energy flowing in your body. And so there's so many things that you can do. It's just a matter of prioritizing it and making it part of your lifestyle, and it's just like an exercise routine. It's fitting it in, it's making it part of your lifestyle, and do things that make you feel good. If you hate going to the gym, then don't go to the gym. Figure out something else to do. Maybe instead of going to the gym, go for a walk in nature in the morning and just really soak in some of that, that fresh air. So I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope you could get some tips and tools out of this that would be valuable in your life. And I know that they've been valuable in mine. So I look forward to sharing more tips and tools with you all. And I send you so much uplifting, positive, healing energy. Take care. You deserve to navigate your life as an empath in alignment with health, happiness, and abundance. To learn more about the services that I provide, including Beyond Quantum Healing Hypnosis, EFT tapping, and the Emotion Code, visit my website at www.thesoulcafe.org.